Hi everyone, it's Susie here from Esoteric Trading Solutions. I hope you're all well. Hope you're living the life that you want to live. Being kind to yourself, being kind to your family and friends, being kind to your animals, and being kind to everyone else. I just want to answer. I got a question from L, which is fair enough. He said, Susie, you're a great supporter of XRP, and it would be great if you could occasionally do other cryptos. Well, I do in esoterictradingsolutions.com / for my subscribers, and also you can pay for some of my obviously the reviews that we do. I mean, well, obviously we do like Ada, and we like Ambrosis, and we like Tron, and I do like Ambrosis very much. It's all educational, obviously. But you got to understand something. I don't get paid anything for YouTube, and when I do a review, it takes me, a good day and a half to do it properly. And since I've been doing YouTube, this is serious. I've got like 25 XRP, 25. That's it. So the only way I actually make money, I'm starting to make it through the ads, and I've only just done that. But the only way I actually make money is if I, sell a subscription on my esoteric trading solutions. So that's why, you've got to understand, I can't just give all my information to you guys for nothing, because I don't get anything for nothing, and you can't expect me seriously to work for nothing. I mean, no one would do that. And I've been doing YouTubes for, I don't know, since last year, end of last year. And honestly, sometimes I'm just exhausted. I do another job, and I'm not whinging, but I'm just telling you how it is. And, I do the best I can. I do this in my private life. And, again, I do this because it's a labor of love, because I don't actually get paid for it. So I do it obviously for the marketing for, my business, but in saying that, I certainly don't make I don't make any money from it. And, I would do, just so you know, I would do 3 to 4 reviews a week for my clients. I've got a couple of people working for me that help me too, and we do a lot of reviews in my business. We do 3 to 4 coins a week at least, and tokens. We do trading stuff, education stuff, all sorts of things. We do an investment portfolio. In our investment portfolio, we've probably got about 12 to 13 different type of investments. I do like Ambrosis very much. It's obviously looking at food security, and China is a huge country with absolute food scams. Rice is not rice. Milk is not milk. There's a middle mine scare in 2008 with babies over, 2 to 3 million were killed, poisoned by cyanide in milk. And the middle class Chinese come to Australia and buy all the dry milk off the shelves and everything else. So it is a big story. They buy land here. They're buying all the cattle farms, all the food and everything else. So I do like Ambrosis, and I do like Cardano, and I do like Ada, and I like a few other things too. But you can appreciate I can't give all the work that I do away for nothing. So I just want to say that pretty much. So I'm always very tired, because it's when I'm doing these YouTubes, it's like 11:22 p.m. or 3 in the morning or something. And I've had people, my friends moved out, and I've got someone else moving in tomorrow. So my life is just a bit upside down at the moment. But anyway, with that, I do, people can pay for videos, and they've done quite a lot. But I will put one up. I'm not going to make it a habit though. But I do want you to be aware that is something I do. But again, I don't make any money out of YouTube. So apart from, a couple of bucks here for ads and things like that. Thanks anyway. Cheers. Oh, hi, Arkham. This review is for educational purposes only. We don't take into account your financial position, your risk preferences, risk tolerances, cash needs, or financial position. I'm not an financial advisor. And I obviously don't know the investment suitability for your position. Also, any sort of investment in cryptocurrency is subject to market risk and capital loss. And also, as I said, I'm not a financial advisor. So, doesn't take into account your investment needs, cash needs, your age, or anything like that. So this is purely educational only. Thank you, Susie from Esoteric. Oh, hi, Akim. Thank you very much for your question, your review on Funfair. We had a look at it, and we probably don't mind it for where the value is for the coin. Obviously, they've got a centralized blockchain, and it's based on a gambling platform. Currently, it is on the Ethereum platform, and they're looking to provide a solution to identify government privacy and corporate bans on real money gaming apps, and looking to basically streamline deposits and withdrawals. So they are trying to differentiate from other systems and other blockchains. They basically have a platform that's built above Ethereum's platform, and their white paper is quite detailed, and they do have a technology paper as well, which is good. So they do have a quite in-depth technology paper, as well as a white paper, which is quite good compared to other new coins or ICOs or tokens. What Funfair are looking to do, and we're looking at the project feasibility here, they're looking to acquire clients through licensing operators to run casino games on their platform. The operators are incentivized to run their own online casino games on the blockchain-based platform, so they don't need to spend money on any hardware, infrastructure, and employees. So Funfair themselves will charge a fee to all licensees, and that's pretty much how they plan to generate their revenue. So the team is pretty much, the team's very experienced, very knowledgeable, has industry experience in gaming, but also industry experience in blockchain, which is a great story. The team itself is only holding 14.5% of the fund token to the developers, investors, and their advisors, which is good. It's quite low compared to other ICOs and other tokens, which is very good. The operators and the organisations from all sides will be able to build their casino games on top of the Funfair platform, which obviously sits on top of the Ethereum platform. They will have Fate Channels 4, version 4, and individuals can easily write a piece of code on HTML5 and run their own games on the platform. So that's the whole idea. So it's going to be a true peer-to-peer platform, and it's going to make it very easy for everyone to use this platform. So they are obviously online gaming. They do have other competitors in this market, but the market is a very, very big market. It's a very large growing market, and one of the biggest markets that's growing is in Asia and China. The Chinese love gaming, and that market alone is probably growing by about 10% per annum. And as the middle classes of the Chinese get more wealthy, they're roughly about 500 million middle class Chinese. They do like to gamble very much, and that's obviously what Fun is actually targeting, that particular market plus the Asian market. So if you have a look at the figures, obviously for gaming, gaming is up year on year, probably around 10 to 15% in different Asian countries. But if you look at the global figures, it's around 4 to 5%. So it's been quite a big jump from say 2009 to 2020. So the figures have actually doubled, and this is in the billions. So we're looking at a lot of money here in gaming, and people use it obviously as a leisure type sport. It is a market that's going to expand more and more with the advent of China coming into that market. So that's a positive backdrop for Funfair. Yes, there is a lot of competition in this space. You could even say that Tron could potentially go into this space, and Edgeless, but no other. From what we can see, we haven't looked at all the coins and tokens. There's 1,629. We haven't looked at everything, but it looks like Funfair themselves, had their own casino running on the blockchain in their own protocol above the Ethereum technology. So it looks fairly good from what we can gather. They are ahead on their GitHub and their timeline and their roadmap. So we like the fact that that is the case. And, they seem to be, pretty much on the ball compared to their competitors. We do find that they do have, obviously they want to regulate, they want to go into other markets and other jurisdictions. So the thing is, the key is to try and get a license and try to be regulated in those other markets and other jurisdictions. Their platform is very competitive. They don't charge their clients a lot compared to other platforms. Other casinos normally charge 10%. Funfair is looking to charge 0.10, and they looking to share personal and financial information. So they do seem to have some sort of edge, and apparently, they're fostering a platform where it's going to be very quick to withdraw funds and to basically deposit funds. And obviously, some banks can have a lot of restriction on gaming type funds. Whether you want to withdraw or deposit money with a credit card. So Funfair is looking to avoid the banking system, altogether with its blockchain technology. If you look at their advantages, there doesn't seem to be anyone else that's doing what they are doing. Now we have checked some other coins in their market, but it does look like they're the only ones doing it. I mean, as you can understand, we don't have time to go through 1,629 different coins and tokens according to Coin Capital Market. So it's only the ones that we know that we can actually look at. But it looks like they're delivering all the promises that they said they were going to do. Obviously, this is not investment advice. It's just basically education only. So I will have to say that we don't know your financial position or your financial risk tolerance or your age, or how much money you want to invest in the cryptocurrency markets. We're just talking about this as purely educational. Okay, so if we looked at Fund Token, there are multiple functions within the Funfair ecosystem. The first one, obviously, for the token is betting, and there's payouts, hopefully, and there's fees that the operators will be paid to fund to cover their licenses. Also, there's incentive for game developers who will also be paid in fund. So it just means that there's going to be more game developers and more casino operators jump on board with more users, and the value of the fund token hopefully should go up. The only disadvantage of this is there's nothing really to say how they're going to get the clients. And what I do find with a lot of ICOs and new coins, they never talk about how they're going to get client acquisition. So how they're going to get people to use the coins or to build, the casino on their platform. A lot of these white papers are very remiss to, the sales process. And I would say the sales process is probably one of the most important things, getting revenue through the door, getting people to use the token, because with usability, the token will go up. They really need to focus on that. Funds pricing at the moment, as you're probably aware, is 0.025, so it is very, very cheap. It's got a fairly low market capitalization of 124 mil. If we compare it to other coins and tokens out there, its all-time high did get to 0.186, and so its market cap was around nearly 800 mil. So it is a nice entry point if you're going to look to buy some fund, to buy some right now, because it is generally around all-time lows. So it is a good entry point from that perspective to where the market has been and to where the token has been. The ICO did seem to go fairly well. The hard cap was reached of 20 million, and it was only a few hours, which is a good story. There were bonuses available, which are up to 50%. That's fairly high, but they were sold back fairly quickly, and the ICO went reasonably well. So that's a good story in itself. If we do look at the technology, as we've mentioned before, Funfair is sitting on Ethereum platform, and you do have to keep in account that Ethereum does have some issues with its platform. It had issues with multi-signature wallets. It basically lost coins and tokens of other coins, and some, Ambrosis, for example, basically got some of its coins lost and all sorts of things. So you do need to keep into account that Ethereum does have some issues, and when there's a queuing process and the miners have to basically validate a lot of transactions, the queuing process gets more queued and the gas prices of Ethereum go up. Because Ethereum uses the same miners as Bitcoin, so there can be a little bit delayed in terms of payments on the Ethereum platform when things get quite busy. So Funfair looks reasonably interesting from a gaming platform perspective. It does have these Fate channels, which are basically technology produced by Funfair to allow a more efficient way to do gaming on blockchain. Pretty much has two different processes of transactions, Ethereum blockchain, one at the beginning of the gaming session and the other at the end. And if you look at this diagram here, you've got basically the blockchain starting here, and it's effectively a random number generation. It'll go through that Ethereum blockchain, which is slow and very costly, as I said. But then the game will take place off-chain on the Fate channel, and then it'll go through this blockchain transaction to verify the session. So basically it makes it supposedly a lot quicker using the Fate channel, the 2-block transaction channel. So yet to be tested, but it looks like it's trying to overcome the slowness of Ethereum, particularly when there's that queuing process and the miners aren't validating the transactions, and they won't validate them until you actually put up more gas or more transaction costs. So what they want to do is avoid spamming the blockchain, and they want as many different transactions for the one gaming session, so everyone's getting actively involved, and they want to reduce the cost of gas and enable a smoother gaming experience with zero latency, and you don't have to wait for the blocks to be mined every time you roll a dice. So they want faster execution of transactions. So it has its own logarithm, which is a random number generator. This is critical for gambling games, and it basically the user knows that the operator's not cheating, and that's probably what people need to be accountable to that. Funfair is currently working on getting a patent for these Fate channels and certification for fair games, and this is going to be huge if they do that, because it makes it very attractive for users and operators for this platform if they do that. So we just have to wait and see if that happens. In the past, there have been frauds in other online gaming casinos, and Funfair obviously is trying to avoid this as much as possible. The token is supported, as you know, with ERC20, and they do have a beta version of the platform up and running. So you can look at that link there, and it looks, quite good. Their programming language, which I think is really important, is HTML5. Now, that's a very easy programming language. You're probably aware that Ethereum has quite a difficult programming language, and it's hard for developers to learn that programming language. But this one here is much easier. Most people know this programming language. It's easier to develop programming. It's very friendly, easy to use, and it's easy, to download if if you don't have an app. And it runs on a browser, so it's Funfair is device agnostic, so you don't need basically massive grunts of computer. You can actually download on a laptop, tablet or a cell phone. That's what it says. If you look at their GitHub activity, basically that's a link to GitHub. They have got a few, quite a few, source code changes in the GitHub, so they're quite active in GitHub, and that's what we like to see, because that means that they're working on the technology and they're responding to any problems or any changes or whatever. So you expect quite a few repositories sitting on GitHub, and that the developers are working to make the technology better. And that's what you want. Now, we haven't heard any, any malicious attacks on the existing beta version, and and as I said, we obviously Ethereum has had attacks, but we know that the developers work actively on the open source code, and they have got their beta up and running, which is great. Really good story. If you look at the token distribution, was fairly good. Basically you had the phase 2 where it's going to go into the system itself, into the platform. Pre-sale contributors, founders wasn't a lot, and advisors. Now, not often you find with token distribution, the founders and the advisors get more than 20%, and I always say that's not a good ICO or not a good distribution. In this case, the founders and the advisors only got 14.5%, which is good, and the rest goes into the system, into the platform itself. The total for the founders was 13.4%, and they've got a restriction on when they can release those coins, which is really, really good. Everyone that has coins or tokens that's had it from the ICO, there should be some restriction to when they can sell them, okay? A lock-up period, because I think it's really important. Otherwise, it's going to pressure, downward pressure on the coin. And I think that's a very good idea. So they do have a restriction on that, and that's fairly important. 21% of the tokens was sold, and 64% was sold on market, and they plan to release another billion per year instead of auctioning them as they originally thought. And you can actually have a look at the distribution of the tokens on etherscan.io, and that's pretty much the makeup of the tokens for the 100 holders. Now, that's a much more nicer, diversified circle or graph than other coins. Some other coins are much more, you have much more whales holding a lot of the tokens, which is dangerous because the whales can sell any time. The good thing with Fun is they basically, the founders and the owners basically have a lock-up period before they can sell any of the coin, which is good, or any of the token, I should say, which is 18 months. So, the distribution's quite good. I've seen other top 100s where the distribution was around 96%. So 87 is not bad. Do Academic that I did just recently had a distribution of 96% of the top 100. Only had 7,170 holders, whereas Fun has over nearly 60,000 token holders, which is quite good, considering the price of the token. So that's very good. The coins are not mine. There was a big burn with the company. They cancelled auction sales for the tokens. Nearly 6 billion tokens were burned. Besides this, there will be another burn going forward, and basically, what that'll mean is, the coins for every burn should perform quite well. So if you have a look at this is the basic platform diagram of Tron. So we have the platform of Funfair, I should say. I'm a bit tired tonight. We have that platform of Funfair, game transaction fees, developers, channels, licensing, players, and affiliates. And that's pretty much how it works. And everyone pays a fee for this to develop. They are a registered software company. They're privately held, and they're based in London, which we like. We don't tend to like things that are held in Eastern European countries or in other countries that are non-English law or non-American law. So once regulation comes in, they'll be regulated by the UK regulatory authority, which is a good story. And, you can check their LinkedIns and everything else as well. And that's good. Legislation like AML is very important. The anti-money laundering legislation, and Funfair are also working on the anti-money laundering legislation, plus the Know Your Client rules, okay, which is good too, because they do need to be compliant, particularly if they're operating in England, and that's very important. We haven't seen any scams or anything negative. We've done quite a bit of research on that. We found that also the CEO and the founders and the people behind Fun are very, very good and very credible, which is good. The founder, Jez San, is an OBA, and the team is 30 plus basically. So it's led out of London, and they've got incredible entrepreneur and computer gaming industry experience. So this Jed San basically founded Argonaut Software as a teen and created the first chip to power 3D games like Star Fox and Harry Potter. So this guy is amazing, actually. He founded 3D online poker room, PKR, and PKR, and is an investor in one of the world's leading crypto exchanges, Kraken. So this guy is no fool, has an incredible background. Really, really impressive. There's another team member, Jeremy Longley, founder and CTO, also co-founded PKR with San, and has over 15 years experience managing development teams. Funfair's COO, David Creeling, was international director of William Hill, a worldwide betting and gambling company. So they really do have an amazing team, I have to say. Probably one of the better teams I've seen. And they do really know their stuff. They're incredibly experienced. They know what's going on. And some of the blockchain-based casinos, which are obviously their competitors, Decent Bet, Edgeless, and Dao. But obviously they're all interested in getting licenses. But Funfair in itself isn't in direct competition with these projects. Instead, Funfair faces competition from platform providers in the traditional space, such as Kambi, Gig, and even Matrix, because they are platform providers of casinos. So that makes a difference. But, given the entry level, around 2.5 cents, it's a pretty good entry level. Their main launch, is Q2 2018, and they are, pretty much supported by the major exchanges as well. Binance, they went on Bittrex, but Bittrex took them off for some reason. Bitfinex and Gemini, and you can store them obviously on an Ethereum wallet, but be careful with the Ethereum wallet because there hasn't been problems with it. And store it on a Ledger Nano S. But look, it seems quite an interesting coin. This fellow has got amazing background, this guy, Jez, and the people behind with him are also, been working with him for a long time. So I have to say, I'm very comfortable with the team. They look pretty impressive, and there's 30 odd of them. We've checked out their LinkedIn. They're all second to none. They're very, extremely good. So the technology roadmap and team information, you can check all that out, and they are above, forward on their roadmap. So they've done more than what they need to in terms of the roadmap, which is a good story. They've got the beta, and now they're about to go live on the mainnet. And, they've done pretty well. If you look at the goals going forward, launch first live casino on the Funfair platform, subject to successful completion of beta and license application. Learn, iterate, and improve partner integration. Drive further product improvements. Continue to pursue license applications and continue to build the Funfair brand. They seem to be doing all the right things. They have 10 developers in each of the different areas, and they've got incredibly strong experience and skill set, particularly in game development, software development, 3D design, 2D design, engineers, UX, UI development, sound design, graphic design, concept design. They've got a team on the development side, which is pretty amazing, and these guys know what they're doing, and you can literally check out all their LinkedIns, and they're all there. Not only that, they had, before the coin even went to ICO, they had investors in the coin before it went to ICO, in the token, I should say, which were venture capital investors. And one of them is Mike Novogratz, who's very, very well known from Galaxy Investment Partner. He's got a lot of money in a fund and is looking to invest in the crypto market. Black Tower's very well known. Black Tower, Pantera Capital, hedge funds, Kryptonite One. So the fact that they've got venture capitalists and institutional money backing them, these guys would have done an incredible amount of due diligence. It just gives credibility to this token even more. So I'm actually surprised that it's traveling at 0.02 cents actually. The fact is these guys would have done their due diligence and would have known their stuff. So, pretty much it's no wonder they've done so well in raising money so quickly, because the founder and the people that are working on it, the development have got amazing experience, and it's been backed by, the professional market and the venture capitalists and the likes of Mike Novogratz, who's very well known. So there are partnerships in place, and Funfair and Spike Games pretty much already, and pretty much they're going to work with them, which is a high quality, high profitable partnership for Funfair, which is a good story. And also Funfair and Big Wave Gaming in the Asian market. Doesn't surprise me, the Asian market, because as I said before, China is huge in terms of gambling. The Chinese are renowned for gambling, and there's 500 million of middle class, and they're not like the American middle class or the US middle class. They're very, very wealthy. The Chinese middle class are anything from 20 million US to about 60 million, and they love to gamble. So that will be a big market. The only thing, as I said before with the white paper, it doesn't really outline how they're going to go about getting that market. Is it a sales process, a marketing process, whatever? I just like to see them a bit more detailed on that, how they're going to get the users of Funfair technology. But they obviously know exactly what they're doing. If you look at where Funfair is being traded, volumes are reasonably so, reasonably big. Binance, Bitfinex, HitBTC, and some of the Asian markets. Binance and Bitfinex are very big exchanges, so I'm happy with those. It does quite a bit of volume. Obviously, more volume is being done on Binance, but still, it does a bit of volume on Bitfinex, and I actually use Bitfinex, so I quite like that. Vision of the company is to be the one blockchain-based platform for anyone wanting to run their own online casino. We're basically making both operators and users more profitable due to lower transaction costs and less infrastructure need, and making it easier to write your own developing, protocol with, the HTML5 language, which makes it a lot easier. So, it truly is, going to be a decentralized gaming platform. It makes it a lot easier. The social presence is not bad. I don't put a lot of credence on social presence because you can change those numbers pretty quickly. But if we look at the SWOT analysis, strength, weaks, opportunities, and threats, they already have a real product in place, and there is a need for it. They have a market viable product. They have venture capital and institution funding, which is fantastic. The team is extremely knowledgeable and experienced. Jed has already done this stuff before. The people he works with have already done this stuff before. He's also an investor in Kraken. The guy knows what he's doing. They have extensive experience in the gaming industry and blockchain. It's based out of London, which I think is a great story. Weakness, the platform does sit on the Ethereum blockchain, and that could be a problem, particularly with the poor performance of Ethereum. I don't like Ethereum. Huge opportunity, China and the Asian market. Gambling, it's running at 10% per annum every year, basically. So given that the coin, there could be argument the coin is underpriced, given which market they're focusing on. Threats, though, could be that they, they don't get patents, or they can't get government approval in other jurisdictions. The platform can't get approval in other jurisdictions, or clients don't use the token in the ecosystem, so the usability is low. But overall, there are quite a bit of opportunities for this coin, this token, I should say. So basically, on that, it's a very interesting project. There are not a lot of gaming platforms, and the ones we've looked at, we think that this stacks up pretty well to the traditional platform providers, which we think, pretty much Gambi, Gig, and every matrix. So they probably, Funfair stacks up pretty well to that. We like the project. They're in the right region. They're focusing on Asia, which is huge. Absolutely huge, with rising middle incomes as well. Again, the professionals are invested in the project. They were invested there before this went to ICO. The ICO went extremely well. They're obviously in the know. It looks good, and it's at the right price, basically. It's well below 5 cents, around 0.02. It's not investment advice, but it does look good. Just from an educational point of view, excellent founder and management, relevant experience, known venture capitalists, well placed in their timing of their market technology, ahead of their roadmap, which is always a good story. Plenty of current entries on GitHub. Developers are actively working on the existing platform. The gaming market is huge, London-based, so if regulation comes in, they can respond to British legalities, which is a good thing for the investment, for the protection of investors. And, obviously there's risk to get licenses approved and casino license approved across countries. But the thing is, that risk is mitigated by the fact that they have incredibly experienced founders and incredibly experienced venture capitalists who have already backed this coin. So all in all, looks pretty good on paper. But look, I've got the obligatory disclaimer there. This is only educational advice. Not advice, educational only, and it's not. Financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but for my money, it doesn't look too bad, this one. And I think it's the right entry level to get a few, not to get a lot, but to get a few. I hope this helps. If you've got any questions, please do come back to me. Thank you.